Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Gemini, we have the 10 of Cups. And in the Thoth system, I don't know how to say the word. It is, I always say satiety because it's like to be satiated, right? It's to be filled, to be, you've gone a long way. You've been hungry. You need something to eat and you have a nice meal, right? I think it's satiety. I don't know. My husband always tells me, shout out to my husband at Dove and Serpent Tarot. I always ask him, once in a while, I'll bring it up. And I can never remember. I've tried. I will, if you watch my channel for any length of time, you will hear me mispronounce so many words, misuse so many words, and, take some, artistic license with the use of some words. So welcome. But yes, it is. It's all about things really coming to their fullness, right? All that hard work you've done. The couples therapy, the retreats, the self-work, the finding yourself, the individuation, the getting back on track, the, vision boards and finding hobbies and getting rid of all the people in your life that don't belong there. Not getting rid of them, parting ways, going your own way. And you've invested in yourself. And that's really what it is. It comes down to you have done the hard work. You've put time, energy, resources into prioritizing your healing, your well-being, your growth. And here it is. We see these full cups. Beautiful. Glowing. Almost shiny, gold, polished. Now, we must be careful not to overfill, right? Because then they start to spill out. And then we get into a little bit of trouble, don't we? All right, let's go ahead, Gemini. We're going to go ahead and turn this thing. I hope I didn't say Cancer at the beginning. I usually do Cancer and then Gemini, and today I did Gemini. So, I hope it said Gemini at the beginning. That's another thing. I mix up the signs a lot. But I don't mean to. I promise this is a Gemini reading. You all are good at multitasking. You're good at doing a lot of different things, holding a lot of different, notions, concepts, entertainment, whatever, in your head at the same time. You can be having like 3 conversations at once, but I myself am just a silly little Virgo, and I have a lot of trouble staying on task and knowing what I'm doing at all times. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to take a look right here. These are some really nicely formed formations here. Now we have a person who is kind of almost in a kneeling posture, or maybe kind of bending down to look at something. You can see the head here, the body here, and kind of looking down this way. Now we have another person over here standing. You can see the head here, you can see the body here, and the legs that almost kind of looks like they are, I don't know, riding on the back of a flamingo, possibly. Now, it's interesting because we have one of these tall birds. It could be like a crane, an egret, a heron. I'm sure there's tons more of lake and water birds that I'm not thinking of, but they're the real tall ones, right? Well, they are really good at catching snakes and fish, and you can see the snake right down in here. Okay, so I want to also look, oh, look at this. We have a little flowers. We have what looks like a shield to me. Now, up here, I want to crawl right up into here. We have the dragon. Look at the head right here and the body and the tail. And its head is right up here looking like it's looking towards something, maybe eating. Now over here we have two people, or one person, I should say. One person has kind of a very phallic energy, creative energy. We also have a rat right next to them. So let's think about this. Last year was the year of the dragon, okay? 2024. Now we're in the year of the serpent, okay? I feel like you had a pretty good year last year. I feel like, for the most part, the world is, it's like that scene in Wizard of Oz where the tornado hits and they're all like spinning in a circle and that witch lady's on the bike and, everything's just like disorienting and surreal and bizarre and we're just waiting to land, right? Am I going to land soon? And is it going to finally be in Technicolor? Right? Because I'm tired of this this monocolor, bleak that we all seem to be in. I mean, some of us anyways, right? I'm tired of it. So, I feel like you ended up doing pretty good. Wasn't terrible. Probably wasn't the best either. We also have the number 282, 282. So you did pretty well in 2024. Now we're in the year of the serpent, and we have this bird who is clutching on to the end of the serpent's tail. So I feel like for you, you are so focused on keeping that momentum going. Whatever it is that you've been working on, your job, your education, your family, your hobbies, your house, I don't know, maybe you're like me and I've been working on my physical health, exercising, or I like to call it intentional movement. It seems a little bit less like, jarring and and intense if it's not exercise. It's intentional movement. And yeah, maybe that's what you're focused on. But whatever it is, whatever things or thing that you have been doing, I feel like it's just there for you to grab. Now, I'm not saying you're not doing hard work, because absolutely I know that you're working hard. But I feel like you've really set yourself up to be able to really grow, scale up whatever you're doing, right? If you started a little side hustle, maybe, for instance, a babysitting business, I don't know, dog walking business. And last year, you had 10 clients, and now you're working real hard, and we're going into summer in the northern hemisphere, and next thing you know, you got 20, 25 dogs to be walking, and it's all coming together, right? And that's just an example. I just like to use examples because I am a neurodivergent person, and I have to be honest with you, when somebody tells me something and then they play it out in a scenario so I can understand, kind of visualize and get in there and feel the feelings, then it really clicks for me. So that's why I'm always doing examples. I know some people might think, oh, this lady, she's always just going on and on and on. But you know what? Some of us need that little extra. We need that little extra piece of information to really get what you're trying to say, right? So to me, the bird is all about contemplation, these kinds of birds. If you've ever seen, a stork or a crane, or right now I have I have a blue heron, and he hangs out. There's like a, okay, I'm going to go on here for a second. We have a muskrat lodge. I know, you're like, what is that? It's a mound of debris, grass and tree pieces and all kinds of stuff. It looks similar to a beaver lodge, which is just a little hump in the water. And they dive down and they go on up into the middle of the lodge, right? And so then it's domed and they're in the middle in there, right? Okay, so we have a muskrat version of this. The geese like to nest in the same area. So they nest on all the little pieces of, there's little bunches of grass from last year. And they're kind of, it's in the lake and they're kind of sticking out and it's smushed down. So now we got the geese nesting. We have the bigger birds coming back. The heron, he's back. Or she, I don't know if it's a he or she. They hang out over on top of the muskrat lodge. And now the geese are not happy because last year they had a really nice nest on a muskrat lodge. It was a different one. They collapsed it. I have to be honest. They collapsed it and then the turtles got on there and they ate the eggs. But then, okay, so the geese are back. They're mad. And we have just chaos. I mean, the animals are scrapping out there nonstop. But the thing is, when I watched that beautiful heron standing out there on his little muskrat, his little rat house, his little sea rat house, he stands there and it's like he's just looking out over the water. These birds equate contemplation, patience, waiting for your moment, knowing when to strike, right? Because they do. They stand there and they wait, and they might wait for hours. And they're watching, and then next thing you know, that beak they have, spear right into the water. They come up and they got a fish. It's wild. It's really, I mean, I stand at my window, you'd think I'm watching like, football or something. I'm cheering. I'm excited. Oh, yes. They got it. So anyways, I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like, the thing here is that you are keeping the momentum going, but you're also getting into that place with your business, with your hobby, with your growing of life, right? Where you understand that just brute force and pushing forward isn't always going to be the thing that you need to do to grow the business in the way that you want to, or to grow whatever it is, your project, your creative endeavor, whatever. Sometimes we have to step back a little bit, get some perspective, wait for our moment. Okay. I feel like you know exactly when it's time, because you've been doing this for a while and you do it well. So no matter what's going on, if you are reading about, we got to do you got to get in there now. You got to do it fast. The market's changing, this, that, interest rates are going up, all the things, right? But you know when to make the move. You have the intuition. You're locked in, Gemini. Okay? So trust yourself. Trust yourself. And you will. You'll get right a hold of that snake. That 2025 lunar snake. Now, we have flowers. We have... I honestly think that the flowers with the shield is like you placing a wall with maybe it's your only, I don't know. I know I said one of your many conquests. I don't know how you would have even more than one. Who has the time or even the will, right? So I feel like your love interest, maybe it's an ex, maybe it's somebody you're with right now, maybe it's somebody that you've been dating or that you've been pursuing or they've been pursuing you, you know, whatever. But there seems to be kind of this need to put up a little bit of a boundary, and that's what that shield is. But I think it's so much about being able to stay focused. It's not about anything they've done wrong or anything you've done wrong. It's more like I cannot focus when you're around or we're doing stuff together because I'd rather just pay attention to you. Or maybe you're like me. I cannot focus if there's somebody talking to me or too many sounds going, the TV and my daughter yelling and, the cats are, just doing whatever they do, knocking stuff over. And for some reason, Alexa's playing in the other room and, all the things that are just like, okay, all right. Let's, let's all come together and zip our lips, But I feel like there's just kind of this, I need to stay focused. I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me. I need a period of time where I can just focus. Now, we looked up here, we have the person and the rat. And that rat. And I don't like to vilify rats. Rats are freaking cool, dude. Have you ever seen that documentary about rats that came out, I don't even know, like 10 years ago? That was crazy. If you've never seen it, go find it. It is what rats run the world. I mean, not too far off from, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? The rats run the show. I think it's mice in that one, but they absolutely do. Although, right, when we see the rat, it's like it's not the personification, but an association with somebody. You know where our minds go, right? Somebody who is telling your business. Now, as I pull this out, it looks like we have, you can see the ears, it looks like a hat with ears. The head, almost like a goatee a little bit. The body reminds me of some kind of elf or fae of some kind. A trickster spirit, okay? And we have the name Lee. L-E-E. L-E-E. Okay, Lee. And so with this trickster spirit, it feels like to me, I almost wonder if things have been going on that feel like coincidences, almost feel like synchronicities, but in your mind you're minimizing. Like, this stuff can't be connected. I feel like it makes you almost feel like you can't trust yourself. And I almost even wonder if you have somebody in your life who seems like they are maybe psychically inclined, but maybe you're somebody who doesn't fully believe, or, you believe, like, anything's possible, right? We live in the infinite, so that means that what? Pretty much infinite possibilities, right? Okay, within that paradigm, absolutely, but the way it is, the way that we exist in reality, it's like your brain, it protects us from these ideas that are just too expansive. I mean, really, how can you even begin to perceive infinite, right? So we abide by these rules, and sometimes we call them science, and sometimes they're empirical, sometimes they're shifting, sometimes these are foundational parts of our faith or belief, and it doesn't matter if it's logical or scientific, but we know it and we believe it. And sometimes we just can't let ourselves believe, right? Because it would almost be like admitting something that maybe we're not ready to even admit to ourselves. And so that is to say, it feels like you are experiencing synchronicities. You are experiencing some kind of magical intervention, some kind of magical encounters. It might be the Fae, it might be another species of being. It could be something like the Jinn or interiors, or yeah, I mean, there's so many different folk species or races of beings, right? But whatever it is, it feels like a trickster. And with the rat, I almost kind of feel like, because you're not willing to make that jump of, okay, obviously something supernatural is happening here. Instead, it feels almost like somebody in your life is playing tricks on you, is telling on you, is making you feel like you can't trust them. And in reality, I don't know that it has anything to do with them aside from they just happen to be there. Okay? Now, I will not, I'm going to say, reserve your belief here as well. I want you to always question what people are doing and their motives, even if they're your closest friend. Not to a point where it makes you kind of, antisocial, but listen, we always have to be discerning in our lives, period. Okay? You need to take care of yourself. You got to take care of what's yours and how you want to live and your family and all that. So be careful with people. But I do feel like in this situation, it's not them. I think that you are having a fully paranormal, magical experience. Okay? And so that person feels like they might be a rat. I don't think that they are. Okay? So I would read up on how one might commune with these beings, if you know what they are or not. Now, I will say, don't follow them. Don't go out into, the wilderness with them. Don't follow them if they invite you somewhere. Even if you're dreaming, right? Because they will visit your dreams as well. And they might say, come with us. We want to show you something. Or I want to take you to my land, And we all know that the Fae, once they get you over to the fairyland, it's hard to get back. But once you eat their food, that's the big one. Do not eat anything they give you. You can't come back. You're stuck. Okay? So be mindful. Now, the number 3 seems important. This cycle of time for you. Number 3. Okay. And there's something to do with the phone. A phone call, or maybe you have, your phone was broken or something. But it feels like this line of communication needs to be open, because you will be receiving a phone call that's going to be important, and don't ignore it. You'll know when it's the one. I'm not talking about, I don't know, the census calling you or something. This is somebody that you care about that's going to call you when they really need you to pick up. Okay, so make sure that your phone's charged, or if you crack the screen or something, get it fixed, because you're going to need that. You're going to need that line of communication. I'm getting sick again, you guys. I thought I was going to make it into summer without getting sick again, and I am sick. I don't know. Having kids is treacherous. I don't know what to say about it. I love my daughter. I just don't like being sick all the time. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to do our 3 lucky numbers. Okay, number 2. Number 58. 2, 58, and 65. Nope. 59. Oh my gosh, 58, 59. All right. Now we're going to do our inner child oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And I'm refusing. The last few times I've been sick, I've been relying on nasal spray. And I know. A lot of you said, don't do it. Don't put that in your body. And, you know, most of the time I try not to. Sometimes I just have to. I mean, it's hard. I can't steam myself every time I need to be able to talk and stuff. But I lost my taste from it for like ever. And I think it was from being sick continuously from like November until February. But I haven't been using anything like that. And now I can taste and smell again. And now I'm sick again. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to sound sick because I am not putting the stuff in my nose anymore. I'm not doing it. Okay, 38. You are enough. You do not have to give more. Oh, can you imagine being in that place where you just know I'm enough and I don't have to give anymore. I don't have to give at all. I am enough. That is a wild place to imagine. I hope and pray for one day I can get to that mental space. Now, we have the Indigo Sage affirmation cards. And I'm going to flip through it, stop where it feels right. And I like to just do it on the side there. So I hopefully won't throw them everywhere. Now we have number 33, Sacred Smoke, cleansing with amazing strength and fluidity. Your love is an interpenetrating. I can say it. Power. I had to look this one up during my reading the last time I got it. I was like, what is that word? And there we go. I just dropped it again. Jesus. All right. You guys. Okay, I gotta get out of here. Okay, Gemini, I love you so much. Thank you for this silliness. I hope that you all are doing well. I know it's Passover weekend. Next weekend is Easter and Orthodox Easter. We just celebrated Eid. I think that was last week. And what else? Holy Week is upon us, which I have to say, one of my favorite weeks of the year. It is one of the most beautiful. If you've never look it up. Holy Week, okay? If you are Catholic or Christian or not, it doesn't matter. Beauty is beauty. Now, if you look this up and you think, okay, I've seen outfits kind of like that before, just know that the outfits you're thinking of, they were stolen, at least the style of them, stolen from, I imagine anyways, this is what I'm thinking in my head, because they do look very similar, from these traditions, right? This is not, this came first. I just want you to know that, okay? If you know, you know. But it is Holy Week in Spain here coming up. It starts on Sunday. I'm looking it up right now. And it's called Semana Santa. Okay, so it's holy. It's one of my favorites. Just to see the beautiful imagery and the ritual, the processions. I'm a sucker for religious processions, I have to admit. So anyways, I'm super stoked about that. I hope you all, are doing well. And if you are celebrating holidays, I hope that you have safe holidays coming up here in the next few weeks. Yeah. And other than that, I'm just going to say I love you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, please do. If you have any prayer requests for me or for my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, his name's Paul, go check him out. But if you want a prayer request from either he or I or both of us, leave it in the comments, or you can email at ulaishere@gmail.com. I read all of my emails. I know sometimes it takes me a while to get back to people, but, you know, that's just the nature of things over here. It's so busy. And also, I get fatigued from correspondence, and I have to just be honest with that. I have so many people in my life the last few years that I went from having a few years where I never saw people barely, maybe when I was working. But I would go to like 2 weeks without even seeing another human being, to having a family, meeting somebody, having a family, and now having this kind of work that I'm doing. And, you know, just the social life with because of my daughter, and her activity. Oh my gosh, so many things. And I know you know how it goes. So, if it takes me a while to get back to you on an email or a message or, any of those things, then I'm sorry. It's not personal, I promise. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot for, you know, somebody to handle. And I don't know, hiring somebody to do all the messages and stuff. I don't know if I could deal with that. I like to do things myself, so I don't know. Anyways, I love you all. Take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. Good night. Good night. Good night.